Hey everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the podcast. In this episode, I wanted to share some personal experience. Always get a bit out of the comfort zone doing these things because I know it sounds weird to say, but I don't really like to talk about myself that much, but I feel it's important to share how I feel. And one of my regrets, obviously, some of us have many, but one of my regrets from the early days when I got into the wonderful world of music. And for some of you, this may resonate with you and hopefully help you feel that you're not alone, if you feel the same way. And for those of you that are looking to get into music, hopefully this will help you to recognize the importance of holding on to certain things. So that being said, let me dive into this. So when I first got into music, we won't get into the full story, but I started out as a DJ first and foremost, and that involved a lot of late nights, a lot of driving equipment to and from gigs, a lot of following people around, being there before the gig started and long after the gig finished. As a result, this meant missing out on a lot of opportunities, some will say sacrifices. And what that meant was that there were a lot of times where coworkers, friends, even family were inviting me to events that were clearly important to them. It could be a birthday, even an engagement party or things like that. And many, many times I said no. I said, I have to make music. I have to go to this gig. I have to help this person so I can learn from them. And as a result, some of those friendships faded. And I look back on that and it is something I do deeply regret, because the friendships that I've held on to all this time, I've been doing this over 20 years. I value those friendships and I really, truly treasure those friendships. And it makes me think back to those times with those people who were very special to me, where because of my decision to continue to say no, those friendships drifted away. So my advice to you, as someone who just turned 40 in December 2022, been doing music over 20 years, make the most of those opportunities. I know that you want to give as much time as you can to music, but the reality is when you do more than X amount of hours per day, you're burnt out. You're not actually accomplishing as much as you would by the end of that. So give yourself that break, but also give other people your time. Go to that birthday party, even if just for a couple of hours. Go to that family event, spend time with people. Don't give yourself an opportunity to regret that later in life. I mean, I'm very grateful for all the opportunities, and I know that a lot of the times being in certain places would get me to where I am today, but I also realize that there are so many opportunities that will present themselves, and family and friends first above everything else for me. And, I wish that I recognized that in the earlier stages while I was learning, while I was getting started. So just wanted to have a little vent and put this out there into the world. And hopefully this resonates with some of you. And if you are starting out, just keep this in mind. Take this advice, if you will, and make the effort to go to those events and don't let those friendships fade. And if you have any feedback on this episode of the podcast, feel free to reach out to me on social media. It's a little less news and tips and tricks and more me just being real with you here. So thank you for hearing me out. And if you hear this before the end of 2022, Happy New Year. And if you hear it after, in 2023, Happy New Year. I wish you every success and thank you for your support, and just keep going. I'm going to end it now before I start becoming a complete mess. Much love, everyone. You can get in touch with me at Ask Mike Warner on most social media platforms. You can read my writing at askmikewarner.com. And for everything specifically related to music, you can go to workhardplaylisthard.com. Thank you so much for listening. Looking forward to sharing more episodes with you in 2023. Happy New Year.